The 40-hour workweek has long been presented as the standard formula for stability: get a full-time job, work consistently, and slowly build a secure life over time. But in today's economy, more people are starting to question whether that system still works the way it once did. Even with full-time employment, many workers struggle to afford housing, save money, invest, or create real financial freedom as living costs continue rising faster than incomes. Today, we will talk about the 40-hour workweek was designed to keep you poor. So, before we get started, make sure to hit that like button. Also subscribe to my channel. 10. The 40-hour workweek was created for a different economic era. The modern 40-hour workweek is often treated like a natural part of life, something normal and permanent that has always existed. But in reality, it was designed during a very different industrial era. Factories needed predictable schedules. Companies needed standardized labor systems. And economies were built around physical production. At the time, the system was considered progress because it reduced extremely long and dangerous working conditions that existed before labor reforms. But while the world changed dramatically through technology, automation, and digital productivity, the structure of work itself remains surprisingly similar. Many people still spend most of their lives trading fixed hours for income, even though the economy around them has completely evolved. 9. The system prioritizes stability over wealth creation. One of the biggest realities about the traditional work structure is that it was designed primarily to create stable workers, not financially independent individuals. A predictable schedule creates predictable income, predictable consumption, and predictable economic behavior. Employees earn money steadily, spend money steadily, and continue participating in the system continuously. This creates economic stability at scale, but it also limits the ability of many workers to build significant wealth because income is directly tied to time. When your earnings depend almost entirely on hours worked, there is a natural ceiling on financial growth. 8. Trading time for money has built-in limits. A major problem with hourly or salaried work is scalability. No matter how hard-working someone is, there are still only so many hours available in a day. Income growth through labor alone tends to increase slowly because time itself is limited. Wealthy individuals often operate differently. Instead of relying entirely on labor income, they focus on ownership, investments, businesses, intellectual property, or scalable systems capable of generating income independently of their direct time. This creates a fundamental divide between people earning money through labor and people earning money through assets. 7. Inflation quietly reduces the value of wages over time. Another hidden issue within the traditional work model is inflation. Even when salaries rise gradually, the cost of housing, food, healthcare, transportation, and daily living often increases alongside or faster than wages. This means many workers technically earn more money over time while still feeling financially stuck. The purchasing power of wages slowly erodes, especially when most income immediately goes toward expenses rather than asset ownership. This creates the feeling of constantly working harder just to maintain the same standard of living. 6. Most workers are too financially exhausted to build wealth. The structure of modern work often leaves people physically and mentally drained. Long commutes, repetitive schedules, workplace stress, and limited free time reduce the energy available for learning financial skills, building businesses, investing strategically, or creating additional income streams. After working full-time, many people simply focus on recovery rather than long-term financial planning. This creates a cycle where survival consumes so much energy that wealth-building activities become difficult to prioritize consistently. 5. Debt keeps many workers locked into the system. Another reason the traditional work cycle feels difficult to escape is debt. Mortgages, student loans, car payments, credit cards, and rising living expenses create long-term financial obligations that require continuous income to maintain. This makes many workers highly dependent on stable employment, regardless of whether the job creates real financial progress. Debt itself is not always negative, but when large portions of future income are already committed to repayments, financial flexibility becomes extremely limited. 4. The economy rewards consumption more than ownership. Modern economies depend heavily on consumer spending. Workers earn income and spend it continuously on housing, subscriptions, transportation, entertainment, insurance, and finance lifestyles. This cycle keeps economic systems moving, but it also means many people spend most of their lives consuming rather than accumulating productive assets. Ownership, whether through investments, businesses, stocks, or real estate, is often what creates long-term wealth. But the traditional work and spend cycle leaves many households with little surplus capital available for meaningful asset building. 3. Technology increased productivity without reducing work hours much. One of the most surprising aspects of modern economies is that technological productivity increased massively over time. Yet average working structures changed far less than many expected. Computers, automation, artificial intelligence, and digital communication dramatically improved efficiency. In theory, higher productivity could have reduced working hours significantly while maintaining output. Instead, many industries simply increased expectations, output demands, and economic complexity. Workers became more productive, but not necessarily more financially free. 2. Financial freedom requires ownership, not just employment. One major shift many financially successful people eventually realize is that employment and wealth are not the same thing. Employment provides income, but ownership creates leverage and scalability. Owning stocks, businesses, intellectual property, digital products, or real estate allows wealth to grow independently of direct labor hours. This is why many wealthy individuals continue increasing net worth even while working less actively over time. The difference is not necessarily how hard they work, it is how their income is structured. 1. The real reason the 40-hour workweek feels like a trap. The deeper truth about the traditional work system is not that work itself is bad. It is that relying entirely on labor income in an economy driven increasingly by assets, ownership, and compounding makes financial freedom extremely difficult for ordinary workers. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comment section below. Before you go, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.